I'm getting ready for bed, thinking about my relative who's going to have surgery tomorrow. She was diagnosed with breast cancer and she's going to have a double mastectomy tomorrow. And it made me think of what advice I need to give her and how I felt the night before. Usually I could like have that denial situation happening before, but 24 to 48 hours, all bets are off. So it's just a little too real for me to be in denial at that point. So hard to sleep, mind just racing. So I thought I'd share with you a number of things you can do beforehand, during, to try to make the process go easier for you. I'd like you to get the name of the surgery from the doctor. It doesn't hurt to know the name. You're going to have to write it on every doctor that you see from here on out, and they'll ask you if you've had any surgeries, and you're going to have to fill it out. So might as well ask for the name now. Ask for common side effects and see if there's anything you can do ahead of time to prep for those side effects. So nausea, what kind of nausea medicine you should have, acid reflux, constipation, if you're going to have pain, do they want you to do it over the counter? If they're going to give you any prescriptions, I'd ask for either the prescriptions while you're waiting for the surgery to happen or before the surgery, ideally even days before the surgery, so you can get those prescriptions filled or at least have them on tap so that if you're having nausea symptoms after you come home from the hospital, that is not the time you want to call up your doctor and say, hey, I don't feel good. Can you write me a prescription? Because they're likely not around. And so get that prescription. You don't have to fill it, but get that prescription. You can even fill it and just not pick it up. And if you don't pick it up, they don't charge you. So you can just preventively have these things available. Make sure you know the hours of your pharmacy. You don't have symptoms at 4 p.m. when everything is open still. You have symptoms at like 2 in the morning. So that's why it's always good to have the medicine on hand if the copay is cheap. If the copay is not cheap, maybe have the medicine at a pharmacy that opens early and stays late. Those are kind of preventive things. I would also ask what to expect when you wake up. First time I had surgery, I did not know that I was going to have a catheter. Very exciting to find that out because I was like, hey, I got to pee. And they're like, go ahead. And I'm like, no, I don't want to pee the bed. And they're like, you got a catheter in, lady. You've been peeing this whole time. So that's fun and exciting to know ahead of time if you're going to be waking up with a catheter. Will there be a tube in your throat? Are you going to wake up with a scratchy throat? Are you going to wake up? I had no mobility in my left arm and no idea that that was going to happen. So when I woke up on a ventilator and I couldn't use my left arm, I kind of freaked out. And so these are things that I did not know to ask for. So ask what you should expect when you wake up. Most of my surgeries, by the time I woke up, all of that was off of me, and I just woke up, and I am just excellent with pain medications. I just woke up from my anesthesia and felt great and just was groggy, but no problem. For most of my surgeries, not all of my surgeries. Like I said, ventilator, no use of my left arm, freaked out. So those are good questions to ask. You're probably going to talk to the anesthesiologist, usually like the night before. I don't know why they wait till so late, but they do. Also, make sure they're covered by the insurance. A lot of them are not. If you call the insurance later and tell them, I did not get to choose my anesthesiologist, it was chosen by my doctor, I did not have a choice, oftentimes, even if they're out of network, which they're all out of network, they will cover them. Pro tip. And so also bringing entertainment because you're just going to be waiting, but you don't want to like have valuables around. So you can have your phone and a tablet around while somebody else is with you. But as soon as it's time for you to be by yourself, that's the time for somebody else to take any valuables and you to have magazine to flip through, book to read, I don't know, a cheap electronic that you don't care about losing. Those things are fine. At some point, you just got to let the professionals do what the professionals are going to do, and it's out of your hands. And some people that freaks them out, and some people that gives them peace. You've done all your due diligence ahead of time. You picked the right doctors, you picked the right place, you made the decision to do this. Now you just have to let it happen. You cannot micromanage, you cannot control all of this. At some point, you just have to give it up and let what's going to happen and deal with the consequences. That's why it's so important ahead of time to do all your due diligence about the doctors and get second opinions and have your advocate there to understand these things. Speaking of advocate and caregivers, they're going to be said surgery is going to start at 6 or whatever time they're going to give you. Hopefully, you can arrange the first surgery of the day so you don't have to wait all day and not eat all day, because usually they don't want you to have any food 12 hours before. So if you can sleep and then wake up and go get your surgery, that is the best, as opposed to like a late surgery where you have to not eat all day, and that's not fun when you're already nervous. So when they tell you what the start time is, I'm going to say that 99% of surgeries do not start on time. When they tell you the duration of your surgery, I think that is the duration of your surgery. Cut, close. I don't think that's the duration of when they roll you back there and when they roll you back and someone gets to see you. So just know that that time they're going to give you is, just double it. And so when they don't come out, they told you it's going to be 90 minutes and it's been 100 minutes and they're not out yet, don't think that there's anything wrong. The surgery probably hasn't even started yet. Half the time, they're just going to say, oh, we just started. And you're like, thanks for letting me know, which is another thing. Ask who your point person is. Ask ahead of time, this is my advocate. Who can they ask to get updates on the surgery? Should they call? Should they ask for a specific person? Should they just go to the desk? Are they going to get updates that way? How do they get updates? I mean, this is how to have cancer, right? So you're likely having a surgery because you have cancer. Everyone loves you and everyone's going to try to find out. And you don't want to burden the person like your spouse or your parent or your kid to have to communicate that over and over again, especially when there's no information yet, right? So what you can do is you can start a text chain, you can start a WhatsApp, you can do a website. There's things like CareBridge. There's different websites out there that you can just get a secure place that only people that you give the link to can get that information, and then they can log in and get updates. And that way you only have to do it once. You don't have to keep saying it, because that sucks, And the person's already worried. They don't want to be like fielding text messages the whole time. And so, do your caregiver and your family a favor and just give them one platform, or tell everybody this is the only person you're allowed to ask questions to, and that person, let them be a step or two removed. I'm not saying like spouse, parent, or child, maybe cousin, maybe friend who really wants to help. Those are the good people to give out the information, to say, this is the person who's going to be giving you updates. Please don't contact people in the inner circle. They're going to be freaked out enough and have enough to worry about. Yeah, and so that's my advice tonight. I think that's the advice I'd give to my relative. That's the advice I've given to her advocate. And that's the advice I give to you. I wish you guys the best. Thanks. Good night.